Today on NTV, we'll find out if the seemingly endless construction in McKinney will ever actually end.
We'll catch up with some freshmen to see how their first year of high school went.
And we'll let you know who our mystery guest is on this year's When I Was 17 finale.
All this and more right here on NTV. And I'm Cameron Govan.
In the past few years, the city of McKinney has undergone major changes. From the rebuilding of Highway 75 to the revamping of McKinney High School and other schools in the district, the construction seems to be never ending. To give you more information about the construction in McKinney, here's Rachel Jones.
McKinney was founded in the 1800s, so of course, all construction began there, and it never seemed to stop. But McKinney's director of planning says a recent sudden increase in growth caused construction to spike.
Recently, probably around the 2005-2006 timeframe, we saw a real explosion in residential and commercial development in the city of McKinney.
Mr. Quint says the development of McKinney and its construction was really more of an advantage because of the placement of our city. However, not everywhere was easy to have a construction site.
I will say that the development was not really necessary per se. I think the reason you saw an increase in development was because of McKinney's great location. The construction started in our downtown area where we're currently at. I think why you see it primarily on the west side of 75 right now is there aren't the space and infrastructure challenges that there are on the east side of 75.
Construction may be in the way, but what you don't know is most of it is for our benefit.
I would say the main priority in construction right now is commercial construction. I think I hear from our council a lot that they feel like we have enough residential construction in McKinney. We're about 150,000 people, but the complaint that I think our council hears and the complaints that I think we hear on a regular basis is where are the shops, where are the restaurants, when is it coming to McKinney? So I think McKinney, where we're at right now, we're still building horizontally, we're building out. I think when we get to the lifespan of our city where Plano, Dallas, Richardson you'll see us start going up.
Lots of thought and hard work goes into the creation of one building, and it certainly doesn't come cheap.
Like Baylor Hospital, for example, hundreds of millions of dollars, whereas you get a small retail center that may be $1 or $2 million. Again, it varies widely, but I would say when you total it all up, we're talking billions of dollars of construction costs.
Now the question we're all dying to know is, when will all the construction end?
The buildings that we're building now will be so old and so outdated that they'll come down. Jeff will have job security issuing demo permits and reviewing plans for new buildings. And so when will construction end? I don't think it ever ends. I just think you see a different type of construction going forward.
This is Rachel Jones for NTV.
Earlier this year, we met with 4 freshmen and asked them a series of questions about their high school experience so far. Now that they've had the full year to get used to the everyday stress of school, we brought them back to reflect on the ups and downs of high school.
I think I've started working a bit harder because high school you actually have to work for once, and I've become more social because there's a lot of people I don't really know, and a lot of my friends went to Boyd or Highs.
I haven't changed as much because I'm still determined to make my GPA as high as I can and have a good time at school.
I think I just became more mature, I guess, and have more responsibility towards schoolwork and stuff.
Probably setting your GPA because, like I said, you have to work and that's not like something I've ever done.
Just juggling a lot of things you do, like making good grades, having extracurricular activities if you're like in sports or you do community service. That's like a lot to do.
So far, I think the hardest part is the transition of having more independence and kind of having to deal with everything, not on your own necessarily, but more of it is on you.
Football games were fun, and like having like the pep rallies.
Spring break. So I don't have any work.
I think it's got to be between obviously the games and stuff like that, because I was in the bands. I am in the band, so I get to do all that stuff, and also getting to meet so many different people.
I had expectations where it was like high school was going to be like a lot of work. It's not as bad as like I made it sound, but it's still like a lot more than middle school was.
Actually, I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it really was, so it was fairly easy.
And I also expected like there to be like a kind of like a hierarchy where it's like seniors are at the top, and if you're a freshman, you get swirlied. That didn't really happen. So.
Not really. I kind of knew what I was getting into because my sister told me a lot that high school is a lot of hard work, so I needed to know that.
They'll definitely say it, like call us fish or throw the seniority card or stuff like that, but they won't. It's more of like in a joking way.
Don't do all of your summer reading, because I didn't read the book and the test was over the first 5 chapters, and someone read the whole book and got a lower grade than I did.
Just try to keep your GPA as high as possible in freshman year, because as you get older and get up to higher grades, you're gonna need that first high GPA to like help the other rest.
You're gonna feel overwhelmed when you first get here, but if you just kind of chill with it and stay chill, then it's gonna be a lot easier, because I was really tense the first part of the year and really freaked out the whole time. Mr. Moliere. I like him because he's funny and he seems like he really gets our age group, and he does things that he knows we're gonna enjoy and that he knows we're gonna benefit from. My biology teacher, Mr. Moliere.
I just say Mr. Moliere because he's Mr. Moliere. He looks like Frozone. And and I've been trying to get him to say like, "Where's my super suit?" but he hasn't said it yet. And like, he's like a really good teacher.
This year on NTV, we have allowed you to look back at the lives of your teachers and administrators on our popular When I Was 17 segment. Last time on NTV, we announced that our final When I Was 17 guest would be a surprise. Let's find out who it is.
Wow, when I was 17. Woo!
Possibly the most prominent staff member at North, Mr. Spann was just as interesting at 17 as he is now. Mr. Spann grew up in Whitewright, Texas, and graduated from Whitewright High School in 1973. With a graduating class of only 46, Mr. Spann says his community was very close-knit.
It was a small community. Everybody knew everybody, and it was one that we hung out a lot.
Like most students, Mr. Spann had a job in high school.
I worked at the local gas station while I was in high school. Pumped gas, changed tires, changed oil in cars, and just did basic stuff like that. We were, as they can call it, a full service gas station. We cleaned the windows, we swept out the inside of the cars while you were waiting to get your gas filled.
While some students may not know what they want to be when they grow up, Mr. Spann says that when he was in high school, he felt very passionate about one profession.
You know, back when I was 17, I really thought I wanted to be a sports announcer, a sports reporter, announcer, something like that. Vern Lundquist was the big guy on TV at the time, and that I was really into sports, and that seemed to be a career that I thought I might go into.
With 4 boys to feed at home, times got tough and money was tight.
You know, we didn't have a whole lot. As I look back on it today, I would probably say we were poor. You know, by standards, we probably, were just, an average middle-class family.
Like most families in the 70s, school was a priority in the Spann household.
It was a requirement that we do well. Mom and Dad expected us to take care of things and to do things as we should in school. And I'll be honest with you, I procrastinated a lot. And my oldest brother was, as I say, the smart one in the family, and he excelled. And it was sports was my thing.
Although Mr. Spann was a good student, he also got into trouble.
There was one night we were down hanging off the train trestle, off the train bridge, and the train started coming. And not smart enough to run away from the train, we ran to the train. We're sitting there, now this is not real smart, but we laugh about that today.
When I Was 17 will be back next year with more blasts from the past. This has been Julian Esparza for NTV.
Summer is upon us, and so for many of us, that means we have a long list of things we want to do. So what's on your bucket list this summer?
My summer bucket list, eat, sleep, and repeat. That's it.
So I'm gonna go back to California and visit my family.
Probably go skydiving.
My 2014 summer bucket list is to walk the beach in Florida with my best friend.
I would love to hang out with the prom king, Joel Griffin.
This summer I want to play lots of sand volleyball and catch up on my sleep.
Go to the beach.
To start a Zumba club. I would like to go to California and chill on the beach all day long for like a week.
I want to go to Florida.
To get a tattoo and my belly button pierced.
To go to Costa Rica. Lose weight probably.
Go to Florida.
I want to go visit my grandmother in Arkansas.
I want to go to Atlantis in the Bahamas.
I would like to go see my cousin down in San Angelo.
On my summer bucket list is to hang out with my boo Cameron.
Get my license, and as well as use my new car to drive to my cousins and my friends.
I'm going to go do a lot of different roller coasters this summer.
To get some money.
This will be our last regular episode of NTV for the school year. In 2 weeks, we will have a special show dedicated to the class of 2014.
This show will recap the accomplishments and memories of this year's senior class.
That's all we have for you today.
Thanks for watching.
And have a great weekend, Bulldogs. He has undergone no.
Of high school. Shoot.
Cameron, go for it.
Many of us, that means we have a long list of things we want to do.
Starting to get mad at myself.
Is it that hard?
I just have to think.
So a lot of people do work early. Yeah. Is there no Sunday? So we did American birthday.
Got it.